Hello everyone, in this video I will work out lab 4.9.4.2 from DivNet Associate course from Cisco. Okay, so this lab is about dealing or creating an application using API. The application is already on the web and it is called or MapQuest. So this is the name of the application. This is the URL for it. Um, we will get to know how to get the key from it. Okay, so first part, this is the tradition one. So we used to use this virtual machine that we already learned how to use it, how to prepare it also. The second part is about demonstrate the MapQuest direction application, and I will not do this part because I'm going to implement or create the application in this video. And part 3, we are going to get the MapQuest API key. So here we have to log in. You have to register. It's not a big deal. You can do it in less than 1 minute. And then we are starting to build the application and test it step by step. Okay, so let's get started with part 3, which is about get the map or a MapQuest API key. So what you need to go to do, so click just here. Let's do it one more time. Open it up. And here you need to sign up or log in. I'm going to log in because I already have an account here. Here you need to enter your email. After you log in, you will have here this panel. Click Manage Keys. And after clicking Approve All Key, just click here. And you can see here, this is the customer key. So this is the key that we are going to use with the API that we will create. As you know, the API, there is a key, there is also, we can put more parameters and of course the URL in the beginning. So this is um, the key that we would like to use with MapQuest application. In part 4, now we are going to create the application that using Python. First, we are going to use Visual Studio, but of course you are free to use your own editor. So I'm just going to use Visual Studio because it's the recommended one in this tutorial. But of course, if you would like to use Vim, you are also free, or you can use Nano or Atom, whatever you want. Okay, so let's open Visual Studio. Then let's open a new one. File. Let's save it. And the name I'm going to call this file is map. JSON1.python. So map JSON1.python because this is much shorter than the one given in the tutorial. Okay, so just because here we call it one because we are going to create more than one file. And this is the recommended way when you create your own application. So you start to build the application step by step. Each step should be in a separate file. Okay, so in step 2, step 3, and step 4, we will import the modules that we would like to use. as you can see, these two models. And then we are going to define variables. The first one is the URL of the application, the original parameter as a variable. The second one is the destination, means the city or your destination location. And finally, we need to put the key, which we already obtained from the map request. Okay, then we need to combine them together. So here, this is the URL. Here, the original city from Washington. This is the destination city, and this is the key. And we need to combine the URL request, and we will do it using URL encode. And here we have the main URL, and then we are going to encode the key with the source and destination cities by using the URL lib from here. We already imported it, so we use URL encode and we put them together, and we hold them in a variable called URL, and then we convert this variable in a JSON format, and we are going to use the get request with the URL with JSON, and then we print to check the program if it has any errors. So let's do this. So we need these two modules. We need these variables. We need also the key. Okay, and we need to combine the URL to create the requested URL. We have it now in a variable called URL, and we will convert this URL to a JSON format, and then we are going to print the output, or print the JSON data, which is this one. Okay, so we are going to compare this to a JSON format, and then we print it out. So let's run this one. And as you can see here, we have output. Okay, let's run it again one more time. So I'm going to say Python 3 and then map JSON 1. Here we have output. So here we have, as you can see, the output in a format of JSON. And this is the first one here as it's given here, starting with the route. This is the starting point. And as you can see here, we have more now in the dictionary format, key and value. What we need to extract in the next step, they need to extract the info, which is status code, to make sure that the program is working. When the status code is 0, it means that it's fine, it's okay. But when it is more than not 0, so we are going to deal with this later in this lab. So in step 5 and 6, we are going to create a new file, or by meaning saving this file in another format, and then we are going to print the URL in the same file, and then we are going to print a message indicating that a successful route call is found, and then we are going to test the program and check the URL. Okay, so let's do this file and now save as the same, but here we are going to change it to 2. So this is the second step, and then we are going to save it. And here what we need to do to print the URL, just an indication here to see the URL, but just in case that we would like to check the key or the parameters or stuff like that. So here we have URL. So here we have the URL as you can see, and then let's print the message. So we don't need this anymore. We only need to print a message indicating that the program works successfully, and we are going to use JSON status, which is this one here from info. As you can see, status code 0. So we are going to extract or parse the JSON file to extract this information, as you know from the previous video. And then we are checking the value of it 0. So it means that it's okay. So let's copy this file from here just to save some time. So print API status, this is a string, JSON status, which is this one, and a successful route is also a text. So JSON status, which is this, representing by this one. And before we finish, we or save this file, we need to define JSON status, of course, and JSON status should hold this value here. So as you can see it here, so JSON status is JSON data, which is from this dictionary or JSON, and we have info status code, and it is here, info status code, and the value of it will be in a JSON status. So we need also this line here. Okay, so here there is the variable, and as you can see now it's blue, so it's valid now. Okay, so again let's run this code. And as you can see here, we have the output API status is 0, and a successful route call is there, which is this message here. Okay, let's keep going. In step 7, 9, 8, 9, and 10, now we are going to let the user to input source and destination, the city of like this, that is the original city and the destination city, and we are also let the user to quit the application when he or she needs that. Okay, so how to do this? As you know, we will use a while condition, and there is inputting the starting location and the destination. We are going to put the input as destination to the user. So let's don't forget, you need to shift all others lines to the right. Okay, so let's start this one. And here we are going to type like while true. So this is an infinite loop, and then we are going to say that original, or the variable orig, and here input source city, and the destination Okay, so here we don't need these two lines anymore. Okay, and let's see if we need to save it in a new file or not. Yes, it should be in the third one. And let's run this. So the source city here, let's enter Washington DC. And in the destination city, we're going to use this one. And again, as you can see, the output is 0, so successful route called. Okay, so as you can see now, we are in an infinite loop. So again, we need to enter a city. So and to get out from this infinite loop, you just press Ctrl and C from your keyboard, and here you are out of the loop. So now the next step is to make like the user free to quit the program without entering, like interrupting, using Ctrl C. So to do this, we just can add here one line saying that if or equals quit or equals q, just break. And here we do the same, but we will use destination. And let's run this one more time. Let's try it with a quit. As you can see, we are out. So that's here, just to make it much nicer. Now let's save it or just run it. So as you can see, I entered a wrong data in the city and I have got no 0 in status. So let's say again the original city. This is the destination city. You can see now this is okay. I can type quit to get out of this program. Okay. In step 11, we are going to use or to view JSON data in a JSON view, which is already came with this Chrome in this virtual machine. So you know, if you are using this virtual machine, you don't need to use or to install any extra information tools because it's already in this machine. So what we are going to use, so first we need to save this file after entering the quit 4. So here should be the 4th version, and then let's run this one. The starting or the original city and the destination city. We should have the URL, and the URL is this one. We need to copy this URL from here and entering directly to, and as you can see here, we have a JSON in a rich data format. Here we have many information. We have a distance. We have here, for example, a tunnel, if there is a tunnel in the way, if there is a highway. uh, More information can be obtained from here, and of course you know how to extract them, or you can use also, you know the concept, you are free to use internet, you can review the chapters, you can study more. So I believe that now if you are following this videos, it's not big deal for you to extract any of these information from a JSON file. So here we can, as you can see here in this video, we are going to extract this information, for example, as you will see in a couple of minutes. And here, this is the route. You can expand or collapse whenever you want. This is also here. So here we have status code. We already got it. We have also here copyright. Here also, again, all the data or information in the way between sender, between the source and destination. Okay, so where we need to expand or to extract from this JSON data is given in the tutorial. Okay, in part 5 we are going to add more features to this application based on the information that we can extract from here. So among the information here you can see we have a distance and we have fuel used. So here this is the distance, and here we have fuel used in the path. So what we are going to use here, so just to add more decoration or to give more information in the output, so we are going to print this line and this line at the first and the beginning of this step, and here after that we are going to print the source and the destination cities, and then the trip duration and time. And here the JSON data, we already extracted this form in a JSON format in the file here, and then we are going to extract the formatted time, and then from the route we are going to extract the distance, and then from the route fuel used. So if here we are going to search, we can see the distance. For example, this is the distance from the route, and also the fuel used somewhere here, this one. Okay, so let's do this. We only need to copy this one. Of course, you can extract any information from here, and I recommend you to do so. So try to extract something from the route more and print it out to the screen if you are going to do this lab by yourself, and I also encourage you to do that. So here let's add more information. You don't need this print here. So let's check it one more time. We have JSON format. We extracted this already from previous steps, and here we are checking We don't need this line. Here we print this separator or divider, and then we print the original city and destination city. So looks nice and correct. Here we extract the distance, and here we extract the fuel used. Okay, and then we need to save it in a form of 5. So let's do this. And let's run it. The original city one more time. The destination city. And as you can see here, we have now the direction from the city Washington to the destination, trip duration with this sign, miles and fuel used. Okay, so this application has no way to deal with like other parameters. So actually what we are going to do, simply we are just going to change the miles to kilometers and multiplying the value here by 1.6, and this one will be in liter, and multiplying this value here by 3.78. Okay, and let's run this one more time. Here we have the starting city. Here we have a destination. And as you can see now we have the value in kilometer, and here the fuel used in liter. But if you see that the digits after the point is quite high and you need 2 or 3, you can also modify this using this step. So before I go further, so I will quit this application and I will modify this, but let's do it in this form. And I'm going to run the application from this terminal, so because it will be much easier for me and much clearer for you. So I'm going to change the directory now, and here ls, and what I would need to run to, I would like to run this application. So python 3 map.json 5. Here we have the original city or starting point. Here we have a destination, and here we have output. And now I think it's much easier and clearer for us and for me and for you. So I will run the code, or I modify the code from using Visual Studio, and I will run the code from the command line interface. So it will be much obvious. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to eliminate these digits here. We need 2 or 3. So to do this, we need only to add at the beginning of here and here we are going to say we need only 2 from the float. Here we need format to this value. Okay, we need to do the same here. Here, let's say we need 3 floats. We need to put the format to this value. Okay, don't forget to save it from here and then run it from this format. From command line interface, we need the city Washington. We need destination city. And as you can see here, we have value now. It's not 2 because, yeah, because here we need to put dot. Here we also need to put dot. Don't forget to save it. Run again file. And here we have 2. Here we have 3 as we wanted. Now let's quit this one. And let's return back to the tutorial. Okay, so let's keep going forward. And here we already did this. And in step 3, we are going to inspect the maneuvers list in the JSON data. So if we go back to the data, and here we have legs, here we have maneuvers. As you can see here, we have here distance for each one, and here we have narrative. So we are going to extract this one and print it out on the screen, of course in kilometer. So we are going also to extract this one from maneuvers, multiplied it by, or convert it, we will convert it to kilometer. And before this, we are going to print the narrative this way. Okay, as you can see here, this is the second one, and this is the distance, and here is the third one with this narrative. Okay, so what we need to do for this, of course, and it's obvious, we need a for loop inside this maneuvers. Let's return to check the file, and you can see here this is the narrative. So what we need actually, we only need to add one line through, actually for loop represented by 3 lines. The third one is only a decoration. The first one is about creating an iterative for the route legs. So these were the first one. So this is the legs, which is under the route. So to reach any value from the legs, we need first the route, and then we need legs, and then we need to specify the value here. And as you can see here, from maneuvers. Okay, so and then we are going to print the narrative, which is the given here. And then we print this one and convert it to kilometer. And as you can see here, we of course need, you know now this, the trick here, we need 2 digits after the float value, and here we print the distance multiplied by 1.61 to convert it to kilometer. So let's take this. Just print it here or paste it here. And we need to save it under number 6. And now let's start to run it from here again, but we need to run the 6th one now. The original city, Washington, D.C. And as you can see here, we have now more information representing that the path between, from the source to the destination, and it is in kilometer again. Okay, don't forget to quit the program, and now let's return to the tutorial. And here we need to check the output. We already checked it out. So here what we need more to do to check what about if the status is not 0. Till now everything is under if statement, like if the JSON status equals 0. So everything, all of these lines will be printed out only in case if the JSON status like equals 0, which is correct status code here. Okay, what about if this JSON status is not 0? So it's not, there is a problem when, let's say that one of the users enters like a wrong city, or there is a syntax problem, or other problems that could happen. So in this case we are going or encourage, or we should actually use another else if statement, so else if or else statement, and this is here actually given. So if it's 0, it's fine, print everything that we already saw. But if it's if it equals 402, so this means that of course there is invalid user input. If it is 611, so they're missing of entry for any or both of the location, and so on. So just like if else if statement, in case if it's not 0, or if you don't have much of these informations, you are simply just type else if, like if JSON is not equal 0, print that there is error problem, check it again, everything. But here of course it's more um, written in a more expanded way. So what we need to do, just to take this snippet of code and put it under the if statement exactly. So here if JSON status equals 0, so okay, do these lines. If not, if it is not like this, so print these lines, and then print the status code like this, and then print otherwise if it is 611, so print this line, then print this line as well. Else if something else, if it was no, if it wasn't 402 or 611, then print these lines. Okay, so let's save this one under number 7. And let's run the code here. Again, source city, let's take it from here. Destination city, this one. Okay, everything fine, but let's check another. From Russia to China. Also, it looks fine. Here we have the code status the same, like this one. Which is 402. Let's check this one. Okay, so here we have also the same, which is 402. What about if we enter nothing? We have 611. Okay, so quit the application and let's check the whole application. It's here. However, I will upload this file as well in the description box. Thanks. See you next video.